Microsoft's own website, and we're going to bring up the website as I tell you this on prisonplanet.tv. We talked about catalyzing events that allow us to be acclimated to tyranny much sooner and without question. And what does this start off with? September 11th, 2001 fundamentally changed the threat and response environment in America. Yeah, when the shadow government, with the aid of Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Pakistan, decided to kill 3,000 American citizens, yeah, it fundamentally changed the response environment in America to more tyranny by the same people that brought you the attacks. Today, to protect our homeland, does anybody else remember Deutschland security? Oh, it's just Hitler. What a great guy that Hitler was, huh? Hell of a mustache. And to counter potential threats and criminal activity, government agencies need to take proactive action. Proactive. Oh, we can't be reactive anymore. Proactive. We've got to spy on you before it happens. It's like preemptive detention. We need to take proactive action to prevent, prepare for, and respond to crises. To this end, secure and trusted information gathering, assessment, and sharing are critical across all levels of government and the private sector. Because the government is the private sector. It's a technocracy. That's the reality. Oh, man. Information fusion centers have become the generally accepted solution, enhancing awareness, prevention, preparation, and response, and putting out paperwork that says you're the terrorist. You like Ron Paul? You believe in a new world order? You got the movie Zeitgeist? You got a live free or die sticker on your car? You're the terrorist. That's why they're training Boy Scouts now in a special program to take on veterans who are coming back from the Iraq War. They're the bad guys, the people that just fought the other bad guys that are brown and okay to kill millions of and cover up. Well, I'm just going to skip down to the bottom here, but you can go check this out yourself. I'm sure there's going to be a story on it. With Microsoft Fusion Framework and Fusion Core Solution, agencies can seamlessly move information from intake to analysis to dissemination in multiple agency, multi-level environment while utilizing existing assets and integrating with domain-specific applications. You know, that's why Rob Dew gets picked up at the G20 for having a camera, a very dangerous weapon having a camera. He can be put in plastic cuffs all evening, have his digital fingerprints taken, and then be released with no charges brought against him. You think they put that into a database? You think they put that through a fusion center? Well, you'd have to be a half-retarded monkey not to believe that. Or just somebody that's watching the Sunday night football game, slurping down Jenny Light. You could be that guy, too. Need a little Pabst Blue Ribbon in your life, I'm sure. All right, let's continue with the phone calls in this long segment. George in Illinois. George, you're on the line.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Bermas, how are you?
I'm all right.
Hey, I got a quick question. I just ordered a book, I finished reading it already, from the Infowarrior store. It's called Bloodlines of the Illuminati. Are you familiar with it?
I actually brought it up today. Yeah, someone called in about it today, and I gave my opinion on it, but we'll do it again. I have read some of the major chapters. I have watched his lecture, which is called 13 Bloodlines of the Illuminati. It's a little bit over 3 hours. I don't know if you've seen that. A lot of the same information in both. And although he comes at it with an ultra-Christian perspective, a lot of it is a history book. You know, when he goes after, you know, he talks about the Astor family or the, I'm trying to think, the Russell family's in there, I believe. He has chapters on the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. You know, I don't buy into anything 100%, especially because a lot of that stuff is based on text. And again, he does come at it as a super religious perspective. But a lot of that information is good. I would say 60 to 70% of it is right on. There's some stuff in there that's a little far out to me, like, you know, Madonna is a mind-controlled sex slave. I don't know how you would be able to prove that. He talks about the Amish being used in assassinations. To me, that's a little far-fetched. However, you know, the guy was framed up in 2000. Are you aware of that story?
Well, that was one of the questions. He's not around. He's in jail now.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Not only is he not around and he's in jail now, in 2000, they painted him up to be some kind of a white supremacist. Now, anybody that's read the book or seen his lectures will know that he's not a white supremacist and that he was pretty tolerant of other religions, and really his book, although again at a Christian perspective, never calls for the death of all Jews or anything like that. And then all of a sudden they said that he was this white militant that was going to blow stuff up, which gives even further credibility to his book, in my opinion, George.
Okay, but what I want to know, he makes a claim in there that Abe Lincoln was a descendant of the Rothschilds. Do you know anything about that?
I don't. I mean, there's another claim in there that he saw an actual physical picture of Satan who visits the earth every 26 years. And, I can't verify that either. That's why I tell people to go check things out themselves, do their own research, cross-reference everything. I know it takes time and we've got busy lives, but this is pretty important information. But at the same time, a lot of that information is good information. I don't know that Abe Lincoln is a descendant of the Rothschilds. I do know that a lot of our presidents are descendants of blue bloods. There's no doubt about that. They're the heirs to the aristocracy, if you will. But just because of that doesn't make you a bad person. If you're fighting for the rights of the poor, of the meek, you look at Kennedy, for example. Kennedy comes from one of these bloodlines that's discussed in this book. It comes from corruption. Joe Kennedy and the family really made their money through bootlegging and running drugs, running opium. And yet things got so bad when he won the presidency that he started taking on the establishment for the little guy, and he's got his head blown off for it. And then his brother got his head blown off for it. So just because you come from a certain bloodline, I don't think that automatically makes you bad, but it definitely gives you the connections to the elite and the temptation, I guess, to become a power-hungry sociopath. You get what I'm saying, George?
I got you. Thanks, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Let's go to Sebastian in Louisiana. Sebastian, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason. How you doing?
All right.
Hey, listen. I live in Miami, but I work in Louisiana, and I fly in and out. And I want to know if those biometric scans that you have to go through in the airport, are those mandatory?
Which biometric scans are you talking about? Are you talking about
in the Miami International Airport? In Louisiana, they don't have them. It's podunk. But in the Miami International Airport, when you go in, you got to show ID about 4 times, and then when you finally go through the TSA, they make you do the body scan. And
that they've made that. I know what you're talking about now. I thought you were talking about maybe a retinal scan device or a fingerprint device. I'd never seen any of those. But yeah, you're talking about the cameras that basically are like an X-ray machine, only unlike an X-ray machine, they're not looking at your bones. They can see all your physicalities under your clothes. They say it's for looking for weapons, but really it does give a profile of you. And they're not just in airports anymore. That's just one of the airports across the country that they're in. They've now put them in the New York City subways. And they have made people aware of this and said, hey, tough luck. If you don't like it, get out of here. They let you know that they're there, but then they say you don't really have a choice. You've got to go through them. Yes, unfortunately. It's color of law. It's totally unconstitutional, totally against the Bill of Rights. But yeah, the color of law, if you want to get on that plane, you've got to submit.
Right. I told the TSA girl, I was like, you're infringing on my civil rights right here. And she goes, well, don't you want to be safe? And I said, well, safety without freedom isn't any fun, is it? And she goes, well, the government has kept us safe since 9/11. And at that
that's
point,
the big argument.
Because I am getting searched.
Well, it shows the brainwashing, man. It really does. It shows how they acclimate the public. I mean, the reason I always harp on 9/11 and I continue to discuss it, and I, made 3 films about it, is because it is my generation's, and really even the generation before me's catalyzing event that has really brought us into this super hyper police state, this super hyper tyranny that has come to the land of the free and the home of the brave and made us the land of the coward and the home of the slave. Go ahead, Sebastian.
Well, what they're doing in Miami now is I have a lot of friends that are older cops. I'm a younger guy. I'm only 30. But a lot of my neighbors and stuff like that are older cops in Miami. And they're getting rid of all the older cops, and they're hiring all kids. They're all the new cops that you see on the streets in Miami are all 21, 22, 23. And that's how they pull you over, harass you. I mean, it's nonstop. I've been pulled over illegally at least 4 or 5 times, just because I live in a predominantly black neighborhood. I'm a white guy. And
what are you buying drugs, sir? Are you here to buy crack? Oh, what are you doing in this neighborhood? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Coast Guard licensed captain, dude. Get out of here, I mean,
well, unlike you and me, I mean, we were still.
And this is how they manipulate us, because they get these young kids that are highly impressionable. that want to go on power trips. And this is how they're going to lock us down when the time comes. Oh, the kids are going to take any order they give them.
And that's why they're indoctrinated. Listen, that's what City Year is about. That's what training the Boy Scouts to fight terror is about. It's just what you talked about. It's getting them while they're 12, 13, 14 years old. So when they're 18 and 21 and they can handle a gun, they're willing to take that gun and just hit you in the butt of the nose with it or whip out that taser. I got a 3-shot taser now. I'll take you all out real quick. That's how we roll here. We go right into your house, we accuse you of burglary, and then we ask you to take pictures. We don't need a warrant. We don't need to knock. You left your patio door open. It wasn't locked. We're just coming in. The corruption has gotten out of control, and I agree with you 100%, Sebastian. Thank you so much for the call. Let's go to Aaron in Minnesota. Aaron, you're on the line.